Hello and welcome to my very first Reddit reading. I am the goat of music, and I can't wait to read you all of these wonderful stories. Let's get it. So an entitled parent tried to card me. It's Friday, so I decided to treat myself. I went to the adult drink store to get myself a bottle of adult drink beverage. I'm at the section and I'm reaching for my drink of choice when this hand comes out from behind me and stops me from grabbing the bottle. Like frick, dude, she was so mad. This taller, gray, blonde-haired woman snaps at me and says, "Where's your parents? You can't touch that." I got this non-stop ranty speech that my parents are irresponsible. She would never leave her child behind unattended in the store, blah, blah, blah. This lady just kept flipping out. I see a moment to interject and say, I'm 30, and go to grab my bottle when the EP tries to grab my arm. So I say on reflex, "Girl, if you put your hands on me, I'm going to crack you with this bottle." Sorry, a little bit country there. Texas. That girl starts calling me a list and demands to see my ID. I was lucky a store employee interrupted before it got heated before asking me what's wrong. And the EP just starts going off again about how she would never let her child alone in the store. My parents are horrible, usual. The worker asks me if I have my ID, and I say yes, and said we card everyone at the checkout, and said he's happy to take me up to the cash checkout, and I said thanks. The EP follows behind with her crap. I had my license over and got my stuff. Well, the EP scans her stuff through, and the guy cards her to. Guess what? She didn't have it. She walked. I just checked out laughing real hard and walked out of the store in my car. I sat there and watched Karen do the walk of shame without her bottles. This is the struggles of a short girl. Posted by user Little Miss Bunny Woman. Let's get on to the next story. A lady acted like our store was a free child care service and got mad when we held her kids' hands. The title sounds kind of weird, but hear me out. My store manager propped the door to our back room open so that we would be able to work out fright a lot easier without having to open the door each time. This family came in and the parents just let their children, probably about 1 and 2 years old, out of the stroller and let them run wild around the store, paying no attention to them. 5 minutes later, it was weirdly quiet. Oh no. But the parents were still there. I walked past and the kids were not in the stroller. My coworker was in the bathroom in the back and heard a loud crash. She ran out and saw children climbing up the moving shoe bays and knocking shoes all over the floor. I ran back there and she asked, "What do we do with these kids?" I told her we needed to go find their parents. The younger one was crying, so my coworker picked her up and carried her out. I grabbed the older one by the hand and walked him out the back room. We walked up to the parents and the mother immediately said, "Why are you touching my children?" My coworker looked at her confusedly and I said, "We found them in the back room climbing up the shelves." Mom rolled her eyes and said, "Why is your door open? Why do you have my kids?" I said, "Ma'am, with all due respect, why don't you have your kids? The store is not a playground, nor are we babysitters. They're your responsibility." She scoffed and turned away. They never thanked us for making sure their toddlers were safe, never wondered where their children were, and never even noticed that they were gone. This is how kids go missing. The mall I work in is notorious for human snatchings and snatcheroos, and these two just let their kids run about alone, waiting to be snatched up. I'm just glad that they ended up in our hands and not someone else's. Hopefully, I don't see one of those or both of those kids on the news one day. Sheesh, with parenting skills like that, I don't know, man. Hopes aren't too high, but prayers are, what people do. A vegan wishes me dead because I eat meat. Posted by... Oh, wait. Forgot to credit the previous one. The previous one was posted by Ugh, I Exist. Honestly, same. Alright, a vegan wishes me dead because I eat meat. Credited to user Kretzer. English isn't my first language, so there may be mistakes. If there are mistakes, you can message me. I will appreciate that. I work at a petting zoo. There aren't that many encounters because most people find a petting zoo or the animals that live here disgusting. Well, today wasn't such a day. I was talking to a woman and a man, and they said, "Oh, let us buy some foods because these chickens and ducks are rather hungry." I joked that it is their tapeworm just being active. After a while, she was by her pig and asked for an apple, so I gave her one and showed her how to feed the pig. We got into some small talk about her old work at a petting zoo in the same city as mine. She then asked if I was a vegetarian. I answered no, because even though I love animals, I also love my meat. She was offended and started to go off. "I like you, but I don't. How dare you contribute to animal cruelty?" Me thinking she was vegetarian, asked if she drank milk, which is always my trap to admit they contribute to animal cruelty as well. But she didn't. Then she went on a long speech on how cows just live to give birth to milk, and those calves can be taken away from the mother and then be slaughtered. At this moment, her husband began to shush her, but of course it didn't work. Then I asked her if she ate eggs, which isn't cruel in any way because chickens lay eggs anyway. She didn't because of roosters also being slaughtered, and it is chicken on her period. She went even further, saying that because I'm a meat eater, she hopes I don't live long, so I won't help the society and their animal cruelty. I joked and said that's why I smoked, to somewhat shorten my life. The husband understood that I was joking and said, "I smoked for 50 years and it didn't work for me." I really appreciated that. She went on and on, hoping I would die soon and I would just let it go. Like an umbrella and the rain falling off it, I wasn't bothered. The husband dragged her away and I wished her a happy long life. She gave me a death glare, which I met with a smile and a wave. For clarification, I respect everyone having their way of living, but don't attack others on their own style. Edit, I forget the kid because he was sinking into the ground after this. He was so embarrassed that when the mother started asking me if I was vegetarian, he left and waited outside the petting zoo. I assume that happens a lot because he knew he was in for a treat. It's like that kid had spider senses. Like the kid just felt a disturbance in the force. Oh my lord. That was a good reading. Now, on to our next Reddit reading. This one might be a bit shorter, I'm not sure. I forgot how I organize these. Oh, you will be posted by user chronically_quirky. Good short one, and I just want to test out this voice. Only on the, you know what I mean, whatever. I used to work at a McDonald's in the lobby, keeping the dining area clean. One afternoon, I was quietly sweeping the floor around where Mom was with her toddler. The child was trying to feed herself while her mom was on her phone with her back to her, not even checking if she was okay. As I was sweeping, I tapped the foot of the high chair with the edge of the broom. As I did this, the mom turned to me and said, "Oh, you traumatized my child!" I apologized and said, "I'm sorry," and she said in the same raised voice, "Yeah, you will be." She went to find the manager and put a complaint writing about the abusive staff. Whew! See, I really dislike these types of parents because they literally go to any establishment just throwing hands, ready to start something with anyone they meet, and it is just honestly the most unpleasant experience. Free seat entitled couple gets karma served for 14-hour flight. Posted by user NG_945. This happened whilst I was married. I still tell the story now and then and get a lot of smirks in. Yes, karma at her best comments. So my husband, now ex, and I were one of the last aboard the plane as he had misplaced his boarding ticket and we had to search for it. When we got on, we were walking up on the plane and could see our row. The plane was pretty much full and all settled in. A couple older than us sat in our row of 3. I checked our tickets and then asked the couple what seats they were supposed to be in as those were ours. They refused to move, and they had scored 3 seats to their 2 bottoms, whereas the row in front of them had a very slim girl at the window. The air hostess came over, and as they were older and playing the H card, the hostess asked us to sit in the seats in front. My husband argued that in the event of an accident, our names were not on the right locations. However, the hostess said that she would swap these over. So we sat down next to the slim girl who took up no room whatsoever. The couple behind were very loudly gloating at their win and discussing how they would have a very pleasant 14-hour trip home. My husband told me as soon as we can to recline the seats as he was pissed they were gloating. So here we are, settled when this man starts walking up the plane. He was a very large man. Long dreadlocks, shoving a baguette in his mouth as he made his way up the aisle. My husband just looked at me and smiled as he realized the only spare seat was that window seat. That would have been next to mine. And yes, Karma took a dump on the gloating couple's lap as the man asked them to move so he could get into his seat. Once settled, he took up a lot of space, and once in the air, the lady called the hostess down and started having a strap about how we'd stolen their seats, and that we had refused to move when they boarded. Sadly for the lady, our argument at the start of the flight had been witnessed by the staff as everyone else was settled by then, so she was shut down by the staff who refused to move us. They then had a miserable flight as the guy kept getting up for the toilet, extra drinks, and extra snacks. Whoever he was a complete gem of a human being. And these are 2 edits afterwards. 1, edited to add paragraphs. Sorry, I have dyslexia and struggle to properly edit my posts. I tend to just ramble. I've tried to put paragraphs in now. Sorry if they aren't right. And edit number 2, a few comments over why dreadlocks, that's what he had. Down to his bum, and an amazing head of dreadlocks. It's his description. It would have read bald blonde, dyed green, brown ponytail if he had indeed had one of those descriptions, but he had dreadlocks. Please don't look for hatred, racism, or anything in malice in it. None there. And I have to say the same. Please don't try to find something where there isn't any of what you're looking for. These aren't the joys nor the problems you're looking for. So, yeah. Anyways, that brings an end to my very first subreddit reading. I thank all those who came by and had a watch. I really hope that you like what I did, and if there was any problem with my reading, be sure to leave it in the comments below, and, drop a like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day or night, depending. And, yeah. I'll see you later when the sun comes up and the stars roll in.